Well, greetings one and all, and welcome back to another video here with your host Andrew. Today you join me for a review of this very aptly named Gravitas Pocket. So what we're going to be doing today, as per usual, I will be doing my usual drawing and I will be doing a voice overlay on top. And today I thought what we would have a go at drawing is a phoenix. So join me over at the table and I shall see you in a sec.
Dignity, seriousness or solemnity of manner are the dictionary definitions of the company name, that being Gravitas pens. All are completely accurate, even when you take into consideration the whimsical colourways. For when you hold this pen, you can really feel that this pen upholds Ben's core values. I've reviewed Gravitas in the past with a very sleek entry model. I've enjoyed its ergonomics and I've certainly enjoyed using it on a frequent basis. This is what prompted me to further investigate Ben Walsh's Gravitas Pocket model. Since the entry, we've seen various new models appear, one being the aptly named Sentry, which commands a presence in his lineup, and now we have the more pocket-friendly Pocket. The naming convention is simple, yet effective. Okay, so let's have a look at the design of this pen. A while back, Ben had produced a specialised finish on the original Gravitas model. It was that Skittles finish that piqued my interest. Since then, he's released various iterations on different sized models. As I already own the entry, I decided to skip the finish on some of the other pens, and I decided to wait for it to come out on the Pocket, as this was a model that I had long been pining for. The anodization is stunning, and as one spins the pen, you get this stunning gradation of vibrant colours of the rainbow. But what I especially love is the accented edges. It gives a sense of separation on all the various elements. If I had to liken this finish to something I already have in my collection, I'd say it's very similar to the Tamanuri finish I have on my Nakaya, albeit more psychedelic. This pen is certainly tasting the rainbow, and speaking of which, the pen's case features a very strong odour, very reminiscent of Skittles. This further complements the pen's finish. If we look at the packaging in more detail, I especially love the finish on the tube and the design elements that pay homage to Ogum. I hope I pronunciated that right, sorry Ben if I didn't. And Ogum is an ancient Irish language which uses symbols. This is a very conscious design element on behalf of Ben and further cements this pen, paying respect to Irish culture. On top of this, we have Ben's family crest adorning the pen's barrel. Okay, now let's have a look back at the pen itself in more detail. Looking at the pen's handsome yet practical grip section, it features micro-perforated patterns running horizontally around the barrel. Not only does this look good, it feels good. I do, however, wish the section was a bit more concave, as this is my general preference. Now, obviously for those that prefer straighter sections, this will be right up your alley. So perhaps down the line, a different selection of sections would be wonderful. Now, let's take a look at one of the standout features of this pen, that being the slice. This is truly amazing and practically very useful. You see, I can place this on a table and it just won't roll off, which is really handy for a pen of this size. I wish more clipless pens would include this, or a roll stop. As far as posting this pen is concerned, that is a must. It's true to say that there is a segment of the market that just hates posting caps, but for this pen it is necessary. You see, without posting, this pen would be a nightmare to control as it's just too short. Fortunately, this pen does post deeply, but for my grip, the balance is just a minutest bit off. As mentioned before, had this section been a little bit more concave, perhaps this might have gone a long way to alleviate that issue. Where this pen truly excels though, is in its size, and married to the fact that this pen retails for around £60, you certainly have a very tempting pen. I love how easy it is to pocket, yet it has a bit more weight to it. Now, if we compare this to the Pocket 6, which comes from Ian Schoen at Schoen Design, ergonomically I would say it's slightly superior, but it is a lot lighter, and this is where I feel that the Gravitas will excel. Okay, so let's see how this pen draws and writes. I'll get this out of the way quick. It's a JoWo nib. I don't mean this in a bad way, but I can't really say much more on this matter, as I've reviewed countless numbers of JoWo nibs in the past. Having said that, for those that have not tried a JoWo, you can expect a more rigid experience with smooth feedback. They are very pleasant nibs, but once you've tried one, I feel you've tried them all. Okay, do I blame Ben for this? No, of course not. But I think this is a reflection of an issue with the fountain pen world. I just wish there was more variety of nib manufacturers to choose from. I know Pen BBS out of China are doing some wonderful things, so perhaps there is a slight glimmer of hope. Now, one thing I'd love to see happen in the future is to see more machinery becoming cheaper and more advanced manufacturing techniques to allow for different nib creation. I think this would give independent makers perhaps the ability to try something a little bit different. Overall, like all other JoWo nibs, this is a good, predictable nib, and if you like to know what you're getting in terms of familiarity, this nib won't disappoint. I know Ben tunes all his nibs before going out. It's also worth noting that Ben works in collaboration with NibLab. So if you do want to have something a little bit different, there is the option. Worth noting, availability of existing nibs is limited, but it may be worth a wait if you want something special, especially if stacked nibs or flex options are your cup of ink. Drawing with this pen is a pleasure, and I hope you can get out an appreciation on this video for how effortless it draws with. As usual, you can draw right in reverse, but it is slightly on the scratchy side if you do decide to draw in reverse. Okay, so on to my final thoughts. This pen is an absolute joy, and one that I feel many would get pleasure from. It's a stylish and modern pen, and it's a pen which is going to certainly turn heads. This pen will suit the hands of many, and even for those that usually dislike metal sections, with thanks to the textured grip. Design wise, if the rainbow finish isn't your cup of ink, Ben certainly has a number of different sizes, models and colourways to choose from. Of course, there are other pocket pens which can be had at a similar price point, Kaweco being the obvious choice. However, for Ben to be able to compete at these price points is a massive accomplishment. So, who is this pen for? At this price point, I feel it's fairly priced, and for those that are looking to step up from a starter fountain pen, this would be a good logical choice. You will get a lot out of this pen, and married with a beautiful design, this tiny pocket pen will make you smile. But one design caveat, you will have to deal with the fact that this is a shorter lengthed pen, thus meaning you won't be able to use a cartridge converter, so please do take that into consideration. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the review. I hope you've enjoyed it. Of course, you're more than welcome to sit back, watch and enjoy the rest of the drawing, but if you decide to cut off here, then the only thing I have left to say is stay safe and goodbye for now.